Good morning, campers. Let's do a reading. So we're going to continue with our Divine Feminines, Divine Masculine check-ins that we've been doing the past weeks. We have 2 more collectives because I have 5 Divine collectives. So if today's one is not yours, you can check the previous ones that I've posted. So let's give it a start. Let's start from the Divine Feminine so you know whether that's your reading. So what is the energy of this feminine? What is currently your energy? All right, we have Page of Emotions and we have 2 of Inspirations. I want to do 2 more for your first row. Give me more. 7 of Emotions. 1 more. 2 more, that's fine. We have High Priestess and we have Hermit. Okay, so you, this feminine, I'm feeling there's quite a bit of emotions. We have quite a bit of water energy in here. So you would be, I'm feeling more trying to tap into your emotions, really trying to feel into your emotions, master your emotions. There's a bit of an energy of confusion. So it feels like whether you're standing with that 2 of Inspiration, either you're standing in front of a choice, in front of something that feels like it's going to be a bit of a new path, maybe something that you haven't expected. I'm hearing a choice that you haven't expected that you would have to make, and a little bit of confusion, which way to go. I'm hearing with this High Priestess that you would be trying to really go inwards, really connect to your inner guru, really connect to your higher self. Maybe you've been spending some time recently meditating, seeking for answers as well. I'm hearing seeking for answers, really trying to connect to your heart, connect to your I am hearing womb. However, I always laugh that in order to do womb work, we have to do a lot of inner work and self-work. So whether this collective, you have been on a journey for quite a while, you're quite mature when it comes to, you're no longer a toddler. You know how I always say this, you're no longer a toddler on this journey. But it may be a detail just for some of you. So some of you may consciously be trying to connect to the wisdom of your womb for answers, and some of you just to feel into that inner guru, right? Your spirit. I'm hearing that there may be an offer on a table for this collective, and that's why you're trying to sort of an offer that awakens your emotions, an offer that you have to use your emotions to consider your emotions, not your brain. Let's clarify. Death. We have death, so transformation, death and rebirth. I feel like there is a transformation in this choice, right? So it's not really, I don't feel like it's really, I don't want to say it doesn't matter what you're going to choose, but it's in the process of choice where the transformation resides. That's what I'm hearing. We have 8 of Emotions and we have Muse of Voices. 1 more. One more. 9 of Emotions. Nine of Emotions. We have 8 of Swords, which is 8 of Voices in this deck, at the bottom of the deck. We're gonna tap into your situation in a moment. I feel like you are onto something. That's not a right expression. It's like you're making the right decision to stay in stillness a little bit, to hermit a little bit, to really connect to your higher self, to connect to your High Priestess within, to take this decision. I feel like you would know, this collective, that there should be no logic. There's going to be no logic in this decision. Whatever you're about to decide, we're going to tap into that in a moment. What's really that decision? What's on your mind? Because it's important, but I feel there's something in this about happiness. I feel this collective, you know how I always talk about that on this journey we reach a point when we have to really realize that yes, it is our birthright to be happy in this life, but happiness doesn't come from entitlement. Happiness doesn't come from, I have the right to have this and that, I deserve to love, I deserve to be treated with respect. Happiness is about alchemizing that emotion internally. True happiness, when we talk about spiritual happiness, awakened happiness, it's regardless whatever's going on in my exterior, whether I'm single, in a relationship, whatever job I have, wherever I live, the happiness lives within me. The joy lives within me. So in that sense, I deserve to be happy. I deserve to heal my wounds. I deserve to integrate my shadows. I deserve to truly connect to the divine, to find that internal joy, to alchemize everything that happened to me into joy, happiness, fulfillment. But externally, it should never be true divine feminine. We never say, I deserve to be happy, I deserve to be loved, right? I talk about this all the time, you guys. And I feel like you would be thinking about this. You would be, for this collective, let's confirm, but I feel there is something that you feel that you need to transform within in order to grow, in order to mature, in order to take a step forth, and something that you need to walk away from. I just feel that you are confused whether that something is a concept, is a thinking pattern, or it's an actual physical thing, right? So if you, for example, are in a place, and I feel like this is about a person, so if you are in a place where you feel that you have to walk away from someone, there's a huge difference between shutting door on someone and physically walking away on that person and just detaching and allowing things to unfold in divine timing. That's what I'm hearing. But again, it would make sense for the right collective. Let's quickly confirm what's going on in your physical life to have these energies here. It's like, you know that you're confused, soulmate. You're confused and you want to take this decision following your truth, the truth of your path, the truth of your destiny, the truth of, it's like you want to take the right choice, but you don't know what's the right choice, right? I feel you're trying to make it from a emotional point, but there is a bit of an overthinking here. Let's do 3 or 4 more. We love when that happens, but these always fly. Hold on. All right, so we have soulmates. That was your first card. We have camera, reminiscing. We have girl talk, time with friends, happily single, living the moment. We have the runner. We have heart with a key, welcoming love, meeting the one, opening your heart. And the last one is mirror, mirroring each other's self-image, self-reflection. And we have clarity, truth, revelation. Whatever is it that you're trying to decide, I feel like this collective, it's related to love. It's related to love. So it's like welcoming new love, opening your heart. So maybe you recently realized that your heart has been a little bit closed, that you have closed your heart for opportunities, opportunities ahead. I always say this to you guys, we have to be very careful and very mindful when it comes to healing our heart space. Are we really healing? Are we really letting go? Or are we just numbing the pain? Or are we just not, it's similar when I talk to you guys, when we talk about triggers, right? So there's a big difference between not exposing yourself for triggers and isolating yourself, or actually just hermiting to heal in order to get out there, back out there, but better and improved. So you know what I mean? So you would be thinking about love, you would be thinking about I'm hearing what kind of love do I deserve. We have the runner with camera, so maybe you are attached to someone that carries a little bit of that runner energy, right? I always say this to you guys, it's just an illusion. It's just a label that we need to release. The runner, the chaser, right? The nonsense. It's just different reactions to woundings, right? But maybe you look back in the past and there was someone attached to you and that relationship was quite codependent. There was maybe, I'm looking at this fear of intimacy. I feel like that for this collective, that this choice, this decision is linked to your person, to the person on your mind, to the person attached to you. So you either are in a moment of your journey when you would have been connected to someone, this collective, right? So you're either in a moment of your journey when you maybe met someone new, and you're considering, should I open my heart? Should I allow this person in? Maybe this person is my soulmate, which would sort of make you think about the past and this previous person that you're attached to, or there is no other person, but maybe you are in the moment of doubt, in a moment of, is it ever gonna happen? Is it ever supposed to happen? Is it... I'm smelling a divine collective, to be honest. Do I deserve to be happy? Am I supposed to? And you guys, if this collective, if you are really attached to someone who you identified as your divine counterpart, so you identify with a twin flame journey, with a divine love journey, right? But even if not, even if you were identifying with a karmic connection, it doesn't matter. I always say this to you guys, we should not take decisions depending on wanting 100% confirmation, okay? In life, 100% confirmation, it will never come, okay? And I have people who come to me sometimes on readings, not just for love, not just for divine love. Some people who are on a journey of alignment, of self-growth, they want to become better. And sometimes they don't know how to take certain decisions when it comes to work, when it comes to their family, right? And they come to me for answers, right? And I always say this, if you want 100% guarantee before you take a decision, there is no psychic and sorcerer on a planet of this earth that could give you confirmation. Because if it was possible, life would have had no meaning. The meaning of life is to surrender, is to learn to take decisions in line with our intuition, with a full trust that however it's going to manifest, I know that I was guided to do something that's going to be a stepping stone that will lead me to my highest, most abundant timeline and will allow me to learn all the lessons and all the growth that my soul wanted to achieve in this lifetime, right? So if you stand in front of a decision, whether you choose this person or not, no one will ever tell you, right? So I right now, if you watch me, if you know perhaps that this is your collective, right? If you watch me, you know that I will always tell you that my universal truth as a reader, as a divine feminine, as a psychic medium, as a healer, whose life's mission is linked to divine love and to guiding twin flames into union, my universal truth, we come here to get into union. And I don't care what anyone says. The idea as we incarnate is to come into union, right? Does it always happen? No, because we're humans and we have free will. We can screw it up, right? So if you come to me on readings, I would, as a divine, I would always say to you, if you surrender to the journey, if you connect always to your counterpart, you have to detach, but you cannot cut away this journey because we get activated through this journey, right? It's, sorry, a deviation, but it's all coming to my mind. Divine feminines on the journey of twin flame, we get activated because of our twin. Our divine masculine is the one that awakens us, that awakens usually the one that awakens our kundalini. Because of this journey, we become who we are. And many feminists make the mistake of, I don't want it, I just want it, because they're not able to truly accept that it might not happen, but I'm still going to connect to you fully because I love you, because you're the other half of me, right? So they're not able to process this entitlement, right? That I want it to happen. If it's not going to happen, I cannot go on. I don't know how to go on, right? It's the longing, and the longing, it's too difficult, and sometimes it's too long and it's too hard. So they cut themselves away from this journey. I don't even want to connect to my masculine. I don't want to think about my masculine. And it's a mistake. It's a mistake, because this journey is what made you who you are. Part of this journey is to reach a moment when you are in the state of, I don't care if I will ever see you again, because as far as I'm concerned, we are in union. Union is just a construct, right? You made me who I am. And I know that energetically, I am helping you to become who you're meant to be. What's going to happen in the physical, this is just a temporary avatar. Who cares, right? So I feel like, sorry for the long deviation, but the direct channel, you know how it always happens when I start to blah, 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 right? Message from your guides. Maybe it's what you needed to hear. So if you are now trying to seek confirmation, maybe you go to readers, maybe you look for information online, maybe you'll seek that information even within, right? Are we ever going to be together? Because if we're ever going to be together, I can wait. But if we're not meant to be, and there's so much nonsense around internet saying that twin flames are, they're never coming to union, it's so incredibly rare. BS, right? So if it's true, then maybe I should just get aligned with a soulmate. You're not going to get that confirmation, okay? You're not. Because even if you would come on a reading, one-on-one with me on session, and I would tell you twins are meant to come into union, there is always an element of the unknown, because part of being divine feminine is surrender to the divine. My universal truth, we come here to get into union. And we've covered this, I think, in one of the readings in previous weeks, that because our full potential is when we merge, because this is when we can we achieve our full potential, our wholeness and our greatness in separation. That's the whole point. But when we really fuse, magic happens. And that fusion of twins is needed for the benefit of this world, of our missions, right? It's sort of it enhances, it strengthens our mission and our power, right? But it is never given, or it may happen for like last 5 years of your life when you're going to be in your 70s. Who knows? We all have very individual journeys, but part of this journey is to surrender. As long as you want confirmation, as long as you want answer, before you really take your choice, before you really decide what is it that you want to do with your life, you will never get it. Your guides will only deceive you. I promise you, because part of this journey is to surrender to the divine. All right, let's see. Let's confirm what you've been up to when it comes to your healing. So I'm going to pull a couple of these for you to see your energy from a different perspective. And then I want to do I feel like you need guidance. So you're going to do maybe archetype cards for you. And then we're going to do your masculine. But I'm gonna give you a little tip, okay? I'm gonna give you a little tip. When you are in this place, you really don't know and you want to know, right? I believe that, again, twins are meant to come into union. As long as we don't screw it up by ridiculous actions like wasting time and putting ourselves in a relationship for a couple of months or even years, it's not part of the path of the feminine. Third-party relationships is part of the path of the masculine. We are meant to focus on soul healing, on our mission, on celibacy, on healing our sacral, connecting to our womb, right? So if you're going to waste time on things like you're going to be so overwhelmed that you're going to be trying to detach yourself, but through detaching from your masculine, you're going to disconnect. Common mistake. You're going to disconnect, God forbid, You're gonna start doing like energy work, like messing with the chords. I talk about this all the time. Very bad karma when it comes to twins. It can actually screw your timeline, and it can actually prevent your union from happening, right? Because it's like when you disconnect from your masculine, when you want to cut ties with your masculine, it's like disconnecting from self, from part of self. How would you ever achieve wholeness? The part of this journey is to understand that we have to achieve wholeness despite the fact that we are one soul in two separate bodies that can be worlds apart. So you not only have to achieve wholeness within yourself, you have to achieve wholeness and union with him, despite the fact that you haven't seen him and you might not see him. Do you understand, right? So as long as you're not doing things like that, you're not submitting to fear, to the ego, to the entitlement, and you're doing the work, you're allowing yourself to be guided by your healer, by your mentor. You're doing the work. You surrendering to the path, to the divine, to patience. My universal truth, you will get there. It's only matter of time. And I always say this: when divine feminine is in her divine feminine, anchored in her divine feminine, anchored in her mission, fully detached yet so fully strongly connected to her masculine, it's only a matter of time, because it's impossible not to transfer that energy through red threads. We're one soul, one consciousness, one chakra system, right? So there may be something that he may heal or clear out karmically, but it's only a matter of time. However, we all have our unique paths. We all have our unique missions. We all have our unique shadows that we decided, and karma with each other that we decided to clear out. So I always say this: instead of asking the pendulum, instead of asking your psychics, instead of asking for that timeline, right? Sit with yourself in meditation. Connect to yourself, connect to the other part of you, which is your masculine. Look in the mirror and say to yourself out loud, we will not get into union in this lifetime. And observe your reaction. Because chances are that you're going to start laughing, right? Or you can do like, we will not get into union for the next 10 years, and you will say it out loud, and you will see how it lands. You will feel it in your body, you will feel it in your soul, whether you're gonna start laughing and like nah, or you're just gonna, that may be our timeline. Okay. So what do we have here? We have connect to the sun, number 28. So maybe you have been recently connecting to the sun, connecting to life force energy. Maybe you've been doing some rituals as well around the solar eclipse that we had, like weeks ago, maybe even month ago. That life force energy. I feel like you've been trying to pull on your energy recently, to not to surrender to the confusion, not to surrender to not knowing what to do. We have energy work and we have divine feminine category. So maybe you've been doing some energy work, maybe you've been trying to master your energy, how you feel into the energies around you. But the divine feminine, working towards divine feminine, we have boundaries and we have compassion. So these two would resonate. So perhaps in the recent time you have been, receiving lessons around your boundaries, receiving tests of your boundaries. I always say this: boundaries come naturally when we truly are anchored in our self-love energy, right? Boundaries really come naturally. Boundaries are protected shield of our energy and our identity. That is true. Maybe you have been connecting to other men on some level. I'm not sensing anything like serious at this point for this collective, but I feel that they may have been something, and maybe without you notice and realize they were tests of your boundaries, of your compassion, of there's a reason. Remember what I mentioned to you guys? There's a reason. I said to you in the beginning that sometimes we isolate ourselves from something, right? And it feels like we've healed, and we know what was it that we've done. I don't want to say like a mistakes, but incorrectly, that we could have done better. But as long as we don't go out there to the actual world, we're never going to know what do I always say about tests? Tests are opportunities to us to show that we are who we say that we are, right? So maybe you've been healing your codependencies, your lack of boundaries, perhaps even lack of compassion in a relationship. So maybe in the past you were focused on your pain, on how you were feeling things, how you were seeing things, what you were wanting. And maybe now universe is sending you, some opportunities through dating here and there, allowing someone to wine and dine you, to really test how you would react in a relationship. And sometimes feminines, when we're still wounded, we take things too seriously. You guys, universe sends us a guy that we're supposed to go on like 3 dates with to really figure out, have you worked through your boundaries? Do you have compassion to another person? Are you able to start connecting to someone on a completely different, deeper, divine, feminine level, authentic, free, with boundaries, right? And we take it all so seriously, like, oh my God, is this my soulmate? Am I supposed to quit on my journey? No, you're supposed to go on a few dates. Supposed to go on a few dates. Start looking at life as a chessboard, as one big experiment and opportunity to grow. We have heart chakra. We had that energy previously, right? I feel like they may wanting you to open your heart. What did I say in the beginning? There's a difference between stubbornness and, no, I only want my masculine. Truly open your heart. Maybe there's someone out there who needs your heart. I feel like I know what collectives I'm tapping into. It usually sometimes comes to me in the beginning, sometimes like somewhere midway. You guys know I color code my collective. So if this resonates, go and watch the previous reading that I did for this collective. You will find it. I color code them, right? So you'll find it. I feel like you just need to really open your heart. Open your heart. I want to pull one of these for you for guidance, and then we're gonna do your masculine. Okay, I love these cards. I so regret that I bought a pocket size, because they're easier to shuffle, the pocket size, travel size, but the booklet is so small. I may want to buy the actual regular. What's the guidance for this feminine? Let's see, what's the guidance? What do we have? We have the Maiden, number 8. I'm not good in Roman numbers. Number 8. Hold on, I'll find it. All right, got it. The Maiden. When in light, curious, enchanting, sensual, full of vitality. That sun vitality. Maybe subconsciously you know that it's something that you needed. That lightheartedness, that joy, that energy. When in dark, pretends, projects, denies, fantasizes. Moving from the maiden to the mother is challenging, often leaving unresolved tension between the two archetypes for years, if not a lifetime. Do you long to be rescued by another or receive a kiss that brings you back to life? Be wary of waiting for a prince. Oh my God, break the spell of your own life. I feel like there may be it. If you are, you guys, we're not supposed to wait on this journey. I say this to you guys all the time, and I explain this. We're supposed to choose celibacy, choose life of being single, not because we're waiting for a prince to arrive on a white horse. We wish it would happen, right? But we're supposed to do it because I know that the other half of me is in another body. And knowing that, how magical is that? How rare is that? I could never settle for anything else. Not because I have a promise that he's going to return, but because I couldn't. And also because I understand that to whom much is given, much is expected. This journey is given to people who truly understand that life is about more than just having a house and playing home with someone. At this point, if you are truly on this journey, you're way past living lifetimes just to learn your own lessons. You are here with a mission. You are here to be the beacon of light for humanity in the times of darkness. You are here to be the initiation of a ripple effect and a chain reactions. I'm getting chills, to make a change. You're not just here to have a house with a, with a white fence. You may You may. I always say this, as a byproduct of true alignment and true surrendering to the divine, miracles happen and we live a life of fairy tale. But you cannot, it's not the waiting. Do you know what I mean? It's not the waiting, it's alignment. All right, let me finish reading through this. The virgin, the princess, the innocent. The maiden archetype is the epitome of innocent arousal, naive sensuality, and precarious purity. She is compelling and addictive because of her flawless and youthful glow. She, the first archetype of the trifecta of maiden, mother, crone, and rightfully so, because she has oh so much to learn. The maiden is perfectly positioned for trouble to come her way and subject her to a challenge that leads to the next phase of womanhood. She must grow up, yet hesitates at the threshold, enamored by the charms of youth. The maiden represents the sides of us that is retrieved and curious, dawn to shadowy forests, dark nights, and taking just one taste of poisonous fruit. Her magic is edgy and includes both shame